must say the sound system here is of God. This is how this is how God ordained for sound to be. This is God's will about sound. Hallelujah. You see, my voice doesn't have a loud volume, so I always struggle when I'm equipped with a microphone that cannot give me the liberty of being myself. I look funny when I shout. So if I find a microphone that gives me the liberty to maintain my tone, it's always a blessing. Hallelujah. All right, let's do Luke chapter 24. Luke chapter 24. We are messengers of light. I will not have the time to go into the ministry of light. The kind of thing that the Bible spoke about Jesus when he entered into the borders of Zebulun and Naphtali. The people that sat in the darkness, they have seen. So I can't go into the ministry of light. Let's talk about the symptoms of what befalls a man when he comes in contact with light. This knowledge is great because when we prophetic people, as we do business in the corridors of God, and he shows up as light, we should be able to identify him. Okay, this is the Lord. This is the Lord. Luke chapter 24 verse 13. And behold, two of them went that same day to a village called Emmaus, which from Jerusalem about 60 furlongs, and they walked together, they talked together of all these things which had happened. And it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, Jesus himself drew near and went with them. Verse 16 is a commentary on their status, on their current condition. Jesus decided to join himself with their conversation, but this was the commentary of their current situation. But their eyes were holden that they should not know him. So everything they did under this condition, everything they did under the condition of their eyes being holden, was darkness. So we are going to look at the way darkness looks like. We'll look at the way darkness manifests. All right? And then we'll also see the symptoms, what happens when light is introduced. You can actually live conveniently in two different planes. Pastor Victor can live in one plane all your life. Honorable can live on one plane all of his life. Convenient. There are enough resources to sustain you on any of the planes. Those two planes are independent realities, so that there are enough resources to sustain you if that's how you want to work. We that are messengers of light, I don't know whether it's off camera or I'm going to tell us the kind of burden that is upon us, especially ministers of the gospel on the continent of Africa. There is a burden upon us. There is a responsibility that is upon us that I need to open our eyes to. So these guys, Jesus joined them. And because their eyes were shut, and the eyes in this case, I know you know, is the eye of discernment. They could not discern. You see, that whole time, they were together for a long go. But if they had known that it was Jesus, they would have benefited more from the trip. But you see, but they didn't know. They didn't know it was Jesus. So all the benefit they would have drawn from that knowledge and the things, maybe they wouldn't have even continued this discussion. They could have changed it to some more, to tap from that privilege. But their eyes were holden that they could not know him. Their eyes were what? Were holden. There are some people in your ministry today, because they cannot see the things that God is planning to do through your life. They can't see it. That's the reason why they are behaving the way they do. So when you pastor people, part of what you should pray for every day is that God should open their eyes. There are some things you don't have the vocabulary to preach to people to understand. The only time they can understand it is if their eyes highlight. So until the eyes of men open to recognize you, you must develop immunity to being despised. They will definitely despise you because their eyes are holden. They cannot know you. They cannot know you. I was on the train. I was trying to head to Kaduna because I wanted to see my father-in-law. Now, there was a lady sitting by my side, and from the discussion she was making, I believe she's born again, because she made a phone call for like 45 minutes. The phone call was a nuisance, was a complete nuisance. I was trying to focus my spirit too. So I was going to preach on a crusade, so I needed all the help in heaven. I needed all the help on earth. But that lady was short of help. She was not help. Made a call for 45 minutes, and she ensured that I heard every part of the discussion. And then when the call finished, I said, let this credit finish. When the credit now finished, she now started singing. Now, at that point, I was looking for soberness in the atmosphere to pick what was on the mind of God. She will always do the opposite. For 2 hours, I was afflicted on the train until we arrived at the terminus. Then we were disembarking. That was when she discovered. She knew that what she did was embarrassing. So when she discovered me, she just ran away. There was no need to greet because the eyes, you will behave funny. If your eyes are not open, you will behave very, 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 very funny. You must, as a messenger of light, you must develop that immunity such that when people do not recognize you in the capacity of the glory with which the Lord has called you, you can handle it, you can manage it, because you are going to see that a lot. All right, so that was their condition. And he said unto them, what manner of communications are these that ye have one to another, and as ye walk and are sad? And one of them, whose name was Cleopas, answering said unto him, art thou only a stranger in Jerusalem, and hast not known the things which are come to pass there in these days? And he said unto them, what things? And they said unto him, please, I'd like you to get their responses, because these are responses of men that are in darkness. They have not been healed of their darkness. When you hear, Job says, David said, for thou will light my candle. Lord will enlighten my darkness. When you hear that prayer point, it's because of this kind of situation. What things? And they said unto him concerning Jesus of Nazareth, which was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people. That means in the eyes of God, he was a prophet. In the eyes of the people, he was a prophet. And how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death and have crucified him. Now, there's a critical comment he makes in verse 21 that I need to draw your attention to. So his initial response is like the storyline of the things that have happened. What he wants to say in verse 21 is his own personal conviction. That one is not the public opinion. Give me 21. In 21 he says, but we trusted that it had been he should have redeemed Israel. So now this lamentation is a proof of the fact that he doesn't believe